in the new technologies class. The guys at Ray Mallock Limited in Wellingborough in the United Kingdom building that car. That car being a 1.5 three-cylinder turbocharged Delta wing. We all remember, I think, the Delta wing. But this one with a very highly powered hybrid system on it, and that car actually completing the first ever electric lap of Le Mans yesterday morning in morning warm-up and doing 300 kilometers an hour down the Mulsanne Straight on electric power only as part of doing that. So just to pay tribute to that car, which unfortunately retired with a gearbox failure on lap 5. But definitely of note, the one car out. So how long was that? 17:26. They clearly practiced it well with the first one and learned how to do it better and quicker.
17 minutes and 30 seconds for that car, and it rejoins in third place. A couple of laps ahead of Sebastian Buemi in fourth. So they've hung on to third place. So Bernhardt out in the lead from Losserer in second place, Di Grassi in third, Porsche, Audi, then Toyota, Porsche, Rebellion, and then Ligier in LMP2. 3 hours and 25 minutes to go, still a long way to go, over half of a normal World Endurance Championship race.
Yeah, absolutely, and just seeing that race engineer telling him not to be using the clutch, probably, let alone driving out on it. Heidfeld setting a quickest lap so far for the Rebellion on that last lap, 3:28.4. So that car lapping quicker than the lead Porsche now. That's got to feel good for Bart Hayden and the boys down there at Sabre Rebellion Racing. But just the last laps, so Alex Brundle last time round a 3:47.2, a long way off the pace for LMP2, with Tristan Gomendy taking 6 seconds out of him on that last lap with a 1:24 gap, and then the gap back there to Harry Ticknell, who's now been strapped into that Jota Zytek is a lap, but I think Harry, you know, he's going to be on it. Yeah, slightly slower than Gomendy in that last lap, did a 43.2, but let's see. I think this is going to be the race in all the classes. Unfortunately, we lost the big fight in the GTE Pro class at the front, but we've still got this fight between Richard Leitz in the 92 Porsche and Jordan Taylor in the Chevrolet for second place.
And then Nicky Team leading GT Am, I think with a comfortable margin, yeah, 2 or 3 laps over Khaled Al-Kubaisi in Porsche number 88, and then Mirko Venturi in the Ferrari number 61. So it'll be Aston, Porsche, Ferrari in Am at the moment, with 3 hours and 23 minutes to go. Timo Bernhardt with a margin of 1 minute 26 seconds over Andre Losserer, but the lap time difference about 6 seconds, 5 seconds thereabouts.
I think Alex might be nursing a problem. Last lap, 3:50.5 in that 35 Ligier. That's not what we expect to be seeing. It's 10 seconds away from the times that we should be seeing that car do. So it definitely looks to me like he's nursing a problem.
Quite some way down.
You don't go about losing that much time on purpose. Not 10 seconds, and on the previous lap 6 seconds. It's not good. Just flicking through to try and see if we're getting any news as to why that's going on now, but nothing at the moment.
Sebastian Buemi still 3 laps behind the #1 Audi in 3rd place, but still pushing on, the Swiss driver from French-speaking part of Switzerland is Sebastian. In Aigle.
Not pushing him to go any quicker. So is this a case of how slowly can we win this race?
'Twas ever thus.
Yeah, absolutely. We were all talking about the distance record gonna fall, but I don't think we're going to see that this year. I need to consult the guru upstairs, the stats guru that is Paul Truswell, but I suspect we're not going to see that this this weekend.
Stop and go there for car 70. That's the Team Taysan Ferrari.
Having a collision with a 57.
Sort of little bit of Star Wars going on there. Team Taysan with Ere Rich, etc. The 458, Ferrari 458. And car 57 was the Krone Racing Ferrari. So the margin last time around, again, it comes down by about 5 seconds between Bernhardt in the lead, Lotterer in 2nd place. And then they're about 4 laps now ahead of the Audi #1 in 3rd, which in turn is 2 laps ahead of the Toyota in 4th. And in turn, that is a couple of laps ahead of the Porsche in 5th place. Now, Brundle, again, losing 10 seconds. He's got an advantage of 1:09 over the 2nd place Ligier.
Nobody else seems to have picked up on it, so I'm not getting anything from anybody, and I don't think the team are going to say anything. So, one of these times when I want to run up to the pit lane and shake somebody and say what's going on. But let's see how this one pans out. I think...
Going slower, 3 minutes and 53 the last lap.
Yeah, he was in traffic through the Dunlop chicane, but he was, you know, in reality, actually, he's lapping with the GTE cars that he's in with in terms of pace. So, don't know what's going on there. He's nursing a problem, and Gomendi pushing on, still doing 3:40.7. Harry Ticknell, quickest in class at the moment, 3:40.1. And Harry only 1:46 behind Gomendi, ready to pick up the pieces. That's Zytek, a reliable package, touch wood. It's done many Le Mans 24 hours. I think that car's probably been here, that particular car's been here 4 times. So I think it's probably about the 9th or 10th Le Mans 24 hours for different iterations of that car.
Bernhardt lapping in the 3-minute 29s, but Lotter is in the 3-minute 26s, and Di Grassi in the 3-minute 25s. So he continues to lose time to the 2 Audis behind him.
Yeah, just lots of interviews going on in the pits, but nobody from the Morgan, the Ligier squad, the G-Drive Racing run by Oak squad. I really want to know what's going on there. Because that's probably at the moment the biggest race we have on the circuit. The lead down now to 1 minute and 2, and yeah, just after the problem Gomendi had with the left front suspension, you just wonder what else there is. But that was fixed too quickly for them to actually have changed the corner. So I suspect that was actually just a failure of a bolt or a joint that was very quick and easy to change. He obviously lost more than just the 5 minutes spent in the pits because he had a very slow in-lap.
Now, for once, for the first time for a very long time, Andre Lotterer actually lapped slower than Timo Bernhard, but only by about a few tenths. They're both in the 3 minute 29s, whereas De Grassi 3 minutes 25, Buemi 3 minutes 27, etc. But almost certainly that was because of traffic.
Yeah, that's just ebbs and flows, doesn't it, as they hit traffic in different places. Let's watch what the next time is, just to be sure. Seeing the 33 car come through, that's not Alex. Is Alex due to us anytime soon? He's in the final sector, running in that gaggle of GTE cars. The Morand car we're seeing on the screen now, the 43, Christian Klein. Not a lot going on with that car. We see a Porsche factory car getting assaulted by the 62 Ferrari, or very nearly, as they come through the Ford chicane. We were lucky there not to see that bashed. And Team Taizan Ferrari as well, following that through.
Yeah, Brundle losing throughout this lap, for example. Here he comes up to the start-finishing line. And last time was the 3 minutes 53. This time of 3 minutes 47. Well, at least that's better, but it's still about 7 seconds out of bed.
This could be pickup. This could be what we were talking about earlier in the race of rubber build-up on the tyres. If he's had to go offline to pass somebody, it can take an awfully long time to get rid of that if it clumps on the tyres and manages to stick. So we could be seeing that. The car, if he had other concerns, he'd have brought it in by now. And let the team look at it. So potentially rubber pickup. I'd like to see an on-board on that car and see if it's being shaken to pieces.
Lotterer, a relatively slow middle section, loses about half a second to Timo Bernhard out in the lead. And this time a 3 minutes 32 from Bernhard, and we're just waiting to see what it is from Lotterer. The gap was about 1 minute 21 seconds from first to second. And Lotterer 3 minutes 29. We're still waiting for him to complete that lap.
So the GTE class, Tony Villand are still well off up the road, 2 laps up the road from the Porsche of Richard Leitz, and Jordan Taylor now closing that gap, the second step of the podium. Nicky Thiem leads the GTE AM class.
There we are, Lotterer's lap at 3 minutes 28 as opposed to Bernhardt's 3 minutes 32, so 4 seconds taken out of Bernhardt's lead, meaning it's now 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Similar lumps coming out in all of these classes throughout all of the battles, actually, which is interesting to see.
So we'll look out for Alex Brundle. His first sector tie, or second sector tie, but he loses a second in the first sector. Doesn't bode well in the second sector. Looks as though it could be 3 or 4 seconds he loses in the second sector as well.
Yeah, certainly Harry Ticknell taking a big chunk of time out of him. But Harry's not the one directly chasing him. Harry is there on the same lap, actually, I think now. The 38 car just coming past us now, which is the Jota Zytek. And Harry going to 3:39.8, so dropping under the 40s. So he knows the race is on, and he's been putting that car to chase. And chase he will. He's quicker than Tristan Gommedy in front of him. So the gap there is actually 55 seconds back is Tristan Gommedy, going 53 seconds back now. And then 2:41 back Harry Ticknell in that Jota Zytek. So this is going to be pretty impressive. We see the distances on the screen. 4,430 kilometers completed on 9 sets of fuel for the Porsche, the leading Porsche.
Into the pits comes number 97, and that's the 4th placed Aston in GT Pro, driven by Darren Turner after their problems earlier on.
So we're seeing young Alex Brundle on the screen now, just coming across the curbs. We're not seeing what the problem is. It's just in the replay.
Lapping in the 3-minute 48, where he should be at least 8 seconds quicker.
Absolutely, I think he'd be happy to be doing 43s right now, but nothing less than that, I wouldn't have thought. The 97 car with its power steering problems earlier on. You're about to see the fuel come rushing up that vent pipe. You can see it just collecting now in the vent pipe. They always zoom out. You never get to see it. The cameraman's scared as that car goes back out on its way. So that's the 73 Corvette with who's at the wheel of that at the moment? Still Jordan Taylor.
Second placed Ligier in LMP2 of Tristan Gomindy comes in. There's a yellow at, in fact...
And that's a Porsche buried in a gravel trap.
Porsche in the gravel trap. That's the IMSA car. IMSA Performance number 67. Doesn't feature on the first of our pages.
What's he done? He got turned around by an LMP2 car, that being... Who's in that car? That's Ollie Webb in the Alpine car at the moment. So Ollie assaulting the side of a Porsche that had nowhere to go, really, that Porsche, I don't think.
Interesting how some of these GT cars are actually going better than some of the LMP2.
Absolutely. We're at that point in the race where the LMP2s that are struggling are actually ever slightly slower than the GTE cars that are on it. So
there's a few walking wounded, aren't there?
There is, rather, sorry.
3 hours and 10 minutes still to go. And still, Timo Bernhardt with a lead of 1 minute 12 seconds now. Again, it's still coming down. Question is, will he be able to react? Will he be able to do anything about it when it gets to, say, under 30 seconds? All indications are...
No.
Exactly.
Having a look to see what's going on, and still no reports as to why that car is running slower than we expect it to. I don't believe Alex is just, you know, holding the pace. I do think it could be what we talked about of the rubber build-up on the tyres. We do see that quite often. Pick-up just causing a big problem. It certainly nearly cost the Jota Zytek the win last time out in the European Le Mans series at Imola. But Simon managing to get it sorted as we see an Aston off the circuit. I think that's at Arnage. That is the 97 car, which is... Who's at the wheel of the 97?
There's David
Turner.
Richards.
David looking rather stressed, quite tired. Which... What did he do?
Is this it here? Coming into... We're about to see. Yes, it is.
Very strange. Just looks like a driver error, to be honest. And he does brush the wall, I think.
Bit of outbraking self.
Just far too fast across the apex. So he's a lucky boy. Not like Darren to be making mistakes like that, I don't think, is it?
Indeed not. David Richards, well known throughout the world in racing. And great enthusiast. And of course, just like Jean Todt, who's the president of the federation these days, a former rally co-driver with success in his own right.
So just looking to see Alex Brundle's next time through. Slow again, 3:49.4. So Gomindy is pitted this lap, and he is now on his out lap, so can't give you that gap. But Brundle losing 9 seconds a lap in reality, and that's quite concerning for those guys. And the fact they're not bringing it in, to be losing that much time, it seems odd. Then maybe they'll put some new tyres on it at the next stop if it is that. But I don't know. Whoever's in that 62 car, I think, needs a nap. Keeps coming through the Ford chicane and causing a few people grief as the 2 car comes across the line. Andre Lotre pressing on, 3:28.9. So that car not exactly flying either in its hunt for Timo Bernard in the leading Porsche, the car 20 factory Porsche LMP1 919 hybrid, and the car that was pushed into the gravel trap by the Alpine is the 67 car. That's one of their Pro Speed racing cars. Getting it back to the pits, and he'll be having a bit of a clean out to see all the gravel bouncing out of it on pit in. On board with the number 2 now, Andre Lotra. Clearly, whatever the tyre situation was that he and Lena were discussing at the last stop, gone away, but the pace isn't there, not the ultimate pace. Every lap sealed of a 3:28, so the hunt seems to have gone down, and not able to apply the same pressure to that number 20 Porsche that they were certainly 15 minutes ago.
Well, there's about 3 seconds gap between the Bernhardt lap and the Lotterer lap, 3 seconds. So, and in fact, the total gap now 72 seconds from Bernhardt to Lotterer. Not any longer, Lena. It's gone in. But that was a little while ago, I suspect.
Yeah, absolutely.
That message.
So, Tyrrell car back in. That's odd, because that's just done. That's the second lap in a row we've got that Tyrrell car back into the pits, I believe, which was a regular stop last time.
Yes, it has come in. The margin, 2 minutes and 24 seconds between the two Ligiers, in spite of that rather slow pace.
So,
in spite of that rather slow pace of Martin Brundle, it's now Harry Ticknell who's up into second place in the Jota car in LMP2.
Absolutely, 2 minutes 23 behind, but those two cars now together, and Gomendi now leaving the pits. We're not seeing it on the screen, but Gomendi out, so there was something minor there that needed dealing with, whether it was he wasn't strapped in properly or something similar. It's going to have been something strange, a strange problem, not a major issue.
So it was a pretty short stop, but having said that, he has lost second in class.
Yeah, absolutely, but running together with Harry Ticknell, Harry going through. Alex now showing a clean pair of heels by a lap to those guys, even with these slow laps. Much better lap last time round from him, 3:45.5. So I suspect that was pickup, and he's starting to clear it off the tyres and get on with the job, because we certainly don't expect that from him. And now, actually, he can probably manage the pace.
He's picked it up, hasn't he? That's interesting. Picked it up by about 5 seconds.
But he, at that pace, with what's just happened, he would probably be quite happy, actually, on the 3:45 pace. But just coming back to him now, the race, and I don't think there's anybody there that's going to really chase him. We're expecting Gomendi out of that, the other Ligier, and I don't know who he's going to be handling the car to, but neither of the other two guys in that car certainly of his pace. But Harry Ticknell definitely is, and we'll see Ollie Jarvis probably finish in that Zytek. That's currently lying second in class, so every reason for those guys to be worried. But Ticknell and Jarvis versus Brundle Mardenborough, I'd say that's fairly equal. 3:28.9 for Bernard that last time round, 2 seconds faster than Andre Lotra in the Audi. So Lotra, the car going away from him again towards the end of the stint, which is what we saw that last time. I don't really know why. We're not hearing anything from anybody. It's radio silence down there.
And they are just hanging on, aren't they, Porsche? The margin, again, 1 minute and 12 seconds, 72 seconds. They only need a second lead in 3 hours' time, and they get all the glory. De Grassi in third place still, Buemi fourth. Then Gianni in fifth and Heidfeld in sixth. Then this battle of LMP2, which we've been talking about. Alex Brundle in the Ligier still hanging on in seventh place, ahead of Harry Ticknell in the Zytek in eighth. And then Tristan Gomendi now in third place in class, in ninth place, and Ollie Webb in 10th place in the 1936, number 36, Alpine. Still with a comfortable lead in GT Pro is Tony Villander in Ferrari number 51, ahead of Richard Leitz and Jordan Taylor, who are a minute apart in GT Pro in second and third places in Porsche and Chevrolet respectively. And then Nicky Team in the Aston leads GT Am.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone else seems to have missed that second stop there for Gomendi, with Harry Ticknell now having brought that Jota Zytek into the pits. Harry will be staying on board that car, that's for certain. And Alex's last time, again, a 3:45.5.
Well, it's been our pleasure to be with you, and this is Bob Constanduros and Giles Dawson handing over now to Julian Porter and Peter Dumbreck for the last 3 hours. A fascinating and thrilling Le Mans. And, well, there's still 3 hours to go. And good luck, chaps.
Goodbye from us.
And that's us back in during Porter and Peter Dunbrek for the final 3 hours of the 82nd running of the Le Mans 24 hours. And I woke up this morning and quickly checked Twitter and actually thought I was still really, really tired, because I saw that it was the #1 car in the lead and #2 car in third, and I thought, no, they've got that wrong, they've got that wrong. What drama and changes. And then since we've been back at the circuit, the #1 car has had problems, and it's now the #2 car who is chasing down the #20 car. So it's Porsche versus Audi. Lotterer just being given a message by his engineer. 2 laps left on this stint. The Porsche car of Bernard just been told the car behind is faster than you and is for position. Peter, we thought we had drama in our stints yesterday, but my word, 3 hours to go, and we are...
It's still anyone's...
4.5 seconds between them after 330 laps.
It's so hard to call this race, you know. We really thought, as you say, when we left the commentary booth, we thought, right, it looks like it's #2's race to lose. And they obviously had an issue with the car, and they've got back out. They're pushing very hard. Lotter, I've heard, has had a bit of a tyre issue during his stint, but he's a very hard charger, and he's closed the gap up to Timo Bernhard in the Porsche. So the fight is really on now. So they've gone from kind of nursing the 20 car a few hours ago to really having to push it hard because they've got the sniff of the victory.
I say, well, here he comes, the #2 Audi. Now we know that he does. Well, they both have to stop, and we've just been talking. If you're
I think Timo Bernhard's just stopped, actually. So if you look at his last lap, so it looks like he's just...
No, he's still... They're coming here. Here's Bernard. They're heading towards us. They're in the final sector. Okay, right. Maybe... Okay.
Apologies if we've just sat down. So it looks like to me that Timo Bernhard has just stopped, and Andre Lotter, that's why he's so close now.
Right. Okay. So, but that we believe there's going to be a driver change in that car before the end as well, isn't it? In that final Porsche. Because Mark Webber's tweeted a picture after his stint of his sweaty, dirty overalls. Timo Bernhard in the car now. What do you do then for Porsche? If you've got to change the driver, you've got to have someone in for the final stint. In theory, as it runs, it should be the youngster, Brendan Hartley in, but maybe they need a little bit of experience and someone who's used to pressure. And here comes the #2 darting down into the pit road. He's in pit lane, he's got to go through, down to 60 kilometers an hour, right in front of us. Then it's a left-right onto pit road.
Yeah, as you say, Timo Bernhard, at least one more stint in the car. They probably will have a driver change after this one, because he's been in quite a while already. So the next driver will go in until the end. And yeah, who do they pick? I guess they're having that discussion right now. I think we know who's going to go into the Audi. It looks like by rotation it's Trelaway who's due next in the car when Andre gets out. You can see in the background there, standing ready just in case. He's not going to go in this time. It looks like Trelaway will get in next time. So one more stint on these tires, just fuel, and off he goes.
Put as much as fuel as you can in it. So, one stop, all being well, wants to beat a 14 car just coming past us and into the pits. Yanni in that car. Tell you what, it never ceases to amaze me. I remember watching the first hour 20 odd hours ago, thinking, Another 23 hours to go here. They're absolutely on it. And they're still absolutely on it. 2 hours, 51 minutes still to go. What a fight. But turbo issues for these Porsches. A window strip being pulled off there. But yeah, turbo issues for the Ferrari, not the Ferraris. What am I doing? I'm still half asleep. For the Audis. All of these cars that have been running at the front have had some issues somewhere along the line. And
that's right, yeah. So what's happened is it's just evened up the field. You know, everyone's had their little problems. It's brought number one right back into it. Again, we've seen them in the lead, and now they've dropped back, but certainly not out of it. They're 3 laps down, but 2 hours 51 to go. We've still got to see that Porsche, as we said, they were nursing it earlier on. Last lap time 3:31, so he's not really, you know, the fastest lap of the race so far was a 3:22.5 from Lotterer during that last stint. So the pace is in that Audi. I think they're pushing the Audi that little bit harder, and Timo Bernhard is just really, he's trying to be safe with the car. He's trying to do a nice consistent lap time, because the advantage is to them. They've still got 54 seconds over Lotterer.
just kind of looking at the times and the news that's coming in. And as you say, they've got to go. Team radio for Porsche. Okay, 55.7 seconds. Let's just remember that with 2 hours 50 minutes to go when these two guys finish their stint. See what Lotterer can do about that.
So you see Timo Bernhard again out over those rumble strips on the exit. So it's clear he's not hanging around. He's pushing as hard as he dare push.
I remember in the dead of night when Brendan Hartley was in that car, the engineer telling them, Brendan, you've got to bring this car home. We've got to bring it home. We're on the podium, bring it home. I wonder how many of those calls are going to come out now. It's kind of like, you've got a chance. Do you... They have had issues with that Porsche. It has had some problems. Do they sit there now and think, let's just go for it, and if it stops, it stops? We're this close.
Well, I still don't think they're giving absolutely everything yet. I think they're going to try and get to the final hour, see where they are. And if they're still in the lead, you know, that's the thing. It's so difficult to call when you're in the lead, because you don't want to push too hard. You don't want to throw it away. But you've got to react to what the car behind's doing. And believe me, they're all pushing hard. But it all depends on... it's always... easier being the chaser. So Lotterer, we know, is a very hard driver. He's been up in the lead, he's dropped back. They've had a turbo issue, as you say, and it's now his chance to close the gap up.
So Buemi out of the number 8 Toyota and Anthony Davison in. That's probably going to see him to the end, isn't it? Anthony will finish this off now.
That's right, yep. And you know, remember, this car very early in the race, during all the rain, was heavily into the wall. Took a few laps to fix it. It's now running 6 laps down, so unlikely to come up for the victory, but they're still flying the flag for Toyota.
And podium isn't out of the way with the guys at the front battling like they are as well. So
if you take a look on the last lap of look at Degrassi, he's done a fast lap of 3:24, and then likewise Lotterer, who's just out the pits, he's closed the gap already. We're yet to see his first lap time out of the pits, but the gap is now down to 50 seconds.
It's taken 5, so yeah, a Porsche kind of like holding it, looking after it, and then giving it all they can in the final hour. Or is fascinating battle, as Bob said just before we came in. Oh, spin. Oh, that's the 58 Ferrari at the final Ford chicane, directly opposite us in the gravel. It's not the first time that car's been in the gravel this week.
He's beached, so going to be a slow zone here to get him pulled out, I would have thought.
The 24 car coming past and into the pits, beached at the final chicane. He's cursing inside that car. You can see his arms
digging
waving.
a hole for himself.
Yeah.
No, he's not going anywhere. He's just got to just sunk in.
Oh dear. And a little bit of a time. Obviously, the marshal's not moving yet. They're just telling him to just stop and wait.
So yeah, actually at the moment they're not putting any safety zone out. They're just
here comes a little truck, a little digger thing.
If they can get him out quick enough, which they're pretty much on site to do it right now, they might get away without having to put in a safety zone there.
He's still not very happy. You can see his arms and his hands.
Well, that's the thing. If they can just get him out of the gravel, he'll get going again. They don't need to pull him off right off the circuit. Oh, it's Sohail Ayari as well. So I'm a bit surprised of that mistake from him. Obviously getting a bit tired now because a very experienced driver, very good driver. I think the fastest driver in this car for sure. So
that's obviously why he's so frustrated then.
Yeah, they'll just pull him out, get him back onto the tarmac, and then set him off on his way again, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's just a yellow flag at the moment, so...
A little bit dangerous having that tractor sitting out there right, just off the racing line.
Which I suspect is going into the... that was just a bit wild, clipping the baguette on the inside of the right-hander, which just pitched him round. But yeah, Manitou close to track, left-hand side is the message. Was that Oliver Jarvis?
Yep, so he's obviously...
He's hung around, he hasn't gone home.
He's stuck around, yeah. He wants to see an Audi victory here if he can.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from the number 3 car saying, still gutted by what happened. And Aaron McNish responding to that saying, you were brilliant. Unfortunate circumstances, it was completely not their fault, that accident yesterday.
So they've got the car pretty much in the air and the driver's still in there.
Yeah.
I think they just get him over a little bit, get him onto the tarmac, and then he can drive off on his own steam.
They say that obviously they're going to take him to... Looks like they're probably going to take him away and down and back.
Well, that's the thing, you know.
Don't want him joining back there.
Yeah, he's facing the wrong way down the circuit, and that's a big no-no. So they try and get him. I don't know where they're going to get him to. Is there an escape road down the outside of that gravel, or are they just?
I'm not sure where the marshals came from. About 30 meters to his left, they might be able to place him there, and he might be able to come back onto the chicane at that point. The 95 Aston Martin, that's the Danish team. Nicky Tim at the wheel, obviously leading the GT AM category. Right, it's now back on the floor, so there obviously is a tarmac road beyond that gravel trap that we can't see. And the Ferrari is going to whiz its way along. Yeah, it's rolling again, so it is moving.
Yeah, Ayari's got the car started. He's driving off on his own steam, I think. So he will rejoin the circuit at the 4 chicane.
Oliver Gavin aboard. Here he comes, yeah. Just a little bit of a rev across the gravel, and he's over those baguettes. That's not very healthy. Right, and he's away. The 97 car into the pits. That car, when we left, was leading quite comfortably, but had problems overnight. I don't know whether you've got to speak to Darren or not, or text him, find out kind of what the situation was, what the issue was.
I tend to leave the drivers alone in that situation. He's obviously not very happy about it. Running very strongly, and a big shame. So they asked him down in 4th position now in the pits. Fisichella in 51 Ferrari has pretty much control over the GT Pro class now.
The 20 car starting another lap there.
This car, of course, started on pole position, so it's been up and down and through the wars, and now it's back in the lead again. Healthy little lead for it, so yeah, it's at least got a lap over the Porsche.
There was some big driving from those two in that car last night, wasn't there?
Oh, some fantastic fights, yeah. Just getting passed by a P2 now, 50 car.
Just turned the aircon on, it was a bit powerful, but anyway. Now, we got a shot of inside the pit. I'm not really sure who that was. It was only a quick glance, but as we kind of decide who's going to drive that final.
So yeah, I think that was Webber back in a race suit.
Well,
so
I wasn't sure whether he was just in a team T-shirt that was quite snug fitting, or whether it was the fireproofs. Webber actually looks like he's going to be the one.
They asked him back into the pit box now. More issues. Of course, they had power steering issues with his car. So some more gremlins have struck. It's a hard thing to take at this stage of the race when you're running so well, and then they were in the lead of the race, and then these problems struck. And number 1 car into the pits now with Degrassi behind the wheel.
Okay, 3rd overall, 3rd in class.
Andre Lotterer still in 2nd place in the Audi. Number 2, he's 50 seconds down the road from Timo Bernhard. Looking up the order, down the order of P2, looking at the car who has been leading for most of the race, the 35 car of Alex Brundle. We've heard they've had a few issues, and Brundle's nursing the car a bit. If you look at his lap times, he's done a 3:49 last time round, and the car behind of Tristan Gomedy has done a 3:41. So there's a big catch-up going on. I think they're 1 lap down. But certainly that could be a very close finish by the end. I don't know what's wrong with that car, that Ligier, but it's certainly not as quick as it was.
Okay, the 92 Porsche, and this is the 2nd place car in the Pro GT category. So driver change as well.
So Makovic getting back in the car, Leitz getting out.
73 Chevy just coming down pit road as well. Degrassi on his out lap now. He is laps down, but still in the podium place. 334 laps in the book. Okay, that's them set now for the final stint, unless any problems. Car 92.
I don't know if did you hear the car revving there? And the car wasn't on the ground. I don't know whether the sound was out of sync, or whether he had the car started in the air, because that's a penalty offence if he's found out for having done that. But before that Porsche was on the floor, he had the engine started by the sound. So I wonder whether anyone else has picked up on that.
Porsche won't be thanking you if they hadn't, and now they have. But
no one's listening to me. Obviously, the sound was not quite in sync there with the vision. So yeah, after all, the light travels faster than sound, so it must have been that.
It, yeah, that's the one. So okay, Charles, 38 minutes to go. Need to kind of looking at the last lap times for Bernard and Lotterer, the first two. A 31.135. Oh, Lotterer just bangs in a 29.6. So not as big a time as he was taking earlier on, but is still taking time out of them.
Well, let's face it, if they continue like this with 2 hours and 37 minutes to go, and Lotterer does take a second a lap, he's on course. He's looking. This could be a very close battle come the last hour, and the teams are going to have to react to that. And let's face it, no one wants to be second. There's no point in being second. There's only one trophy available, and that's the first place trophy. The other ones aren't really worth having. So yeah, I think the teams are going to be pushing absolutely maximum for this win.
74 car now in Oliver Gavin, 5th place at the moment in the Pro GT category. Magnussen in the 73 car up to 3rd in that category. Changed around, there was brake problems last night for them. Okay, Tom Christensen texting or tweeting away there in the pits, sat thinking, well, I've done all I can. A bit unlucky. Let's see what goes on. As we say, still 2 hours, just over 2.5 hours to go. So as we've seen, it does change pretty rapidly round here. The 91 car just going past our commentary booth, followed by the 27 car, Sarthe. That's had a few little indiscretions and minor incidents during the 20. Well, we got a start up to warm up on Saturday morning when that started to have its problems. But the 92 car is on board here.
Just looking at Twitter now, there's a picture of Tom Christensen drawing a face on one of the mechanics who's absolutely passed out, and he's drawing some eyebrows on and some spots on his chin, that kind of thing.
He'll want him to fix his car later as well. Does that to his mechanic. Dear me. Right, I'm waiting for some times to come up between the 51 and the 92 car. Struggling to work out the aircon. It's never been that cold all weekend, the aircon, and I don't know whether Bob and the boys, but when we turn it off, it's really warm. When we turn it on, it's really, really cold. Can't seem to find a happy medium at the moment.
Well, I think what's happened today, it seems to me that it's the, you know, of the short time we've actually been here, today seems like a cooler day, so the cars are going to be functioning a little bit faster, less heat on the track, less track temperature, a lower track temperature, so the cars will be a little bit easier to drive. They won't be moving around on the tyre so much.
I just noticed that car 38, that didn't have a side number on it most of yesterday. It's now got one on it, so our third place car in
They've come
P2.
up quite well, you know, they've got themselves a 38 Jota car, got themselves up to third position in Class P2 with Harry Tinknell in the car.
So Brundles leads 123, and then Tinknell in third place, 152. So, as you say, that's starting to kind of bunch up. Not when exactly the time when Alex Brundle wouldn't want it to start bunching up, it is.
Well, let's have a look and see the gap between... so Brundle still circulating slightly off the pace.
7 seconds off Tinknell in that lap.
So he's got a gap of 1:23 compared to Tristan Gomedy behind him. So obviously that gap's coming down quite quickly, 5 seconds on that last lap. So again, like the P1, we could see a big challenge for a new leader in the last sort of hour and a half of this race. Car 34 into the pits again, an early front runner, now dropped down to 6th position. They were in the lead at one stage of the race.
Yeah, they were in that big battle. We saw that yesterday, didn't we? With 34 and the 35 car really pushing on. Here is that 35 car. Say, Alex has just got, they've done everything right. They just need to get this car. So 1:23.256 is the gap.
Seeing a quote from Sebastian Buemi here. We've tried to push hard to the end. We know anything can happen, as we know. It is Le Mans 24 hours, so they don't give up, which is fair enough. It will be a big ask to win from 4th position and 6 laps down. But yeah, anything can happen here.
34 car being wheeled back into the garage. So still some work to do on that car. Not so happy with that. Now, Lotterer's back on the pace. It's down to 43.5 seconds. 4.7 seconds quicker on that lap than the Porsche that he's chasing. Here he is. He's on screen now. There can be some positive messages coming through from that. Here we go.
So I think that was a delayed message.
Yeah.
So I think they were saying, right, go to mix 5, which is obviously maybe a leaner mix on the engine, giving more power. And Andre has responded by doing a 328, which is exactly what they wanted on that last lap. So he is on target. He's taken 4 seconds from Timo Bernhard on that lap. So it looks like their game plan is paying off at the moment, and we look like we're going to get a nice grandstand finish to this race if everyone keeps going in the way they're going.
Yeah.
I don't want to tempt fate for anyone, and you know, that's the thing. That's a tough thing. Everyone gets this far in the race. Everyone's pushing hard, and we deserve more than one winner, but we are only going to get one winner.
Yeah, got to up the pace. Tell you what, we won a 3:28. How will a 3:28.117 do you then, Lena? That is what you asked him to do, a 3:28, 1/10 out. That's pretty good. He's just completed another one, a 3:28.183. Should be happy with that. Her man is doing what she's asked. 2 laps there, both 3:28s. One was a 1:171, a 1:83. In 3 minutes 28, you can get it that close. Thousands.
Yeah, I mean, they know what they're doing, don't they? It's still 6 seconds off the fastest lap, which is set by Andre.
3.5 quicker that lap.
But
he's chasing.
He's quite late in his stint, isn't he? I think he's going to be getting out of the car next time, and Benoit Trullier will be getting in, so I imagine his tyres are a bit used by now.
Yeah, just watching you.
Yeah, we can see the gap coming down.
Is that a call that every driver kind of loves? We need to up the pace. You're kind of free. You got a free rein now. Just go for it. Rather than conserve fuel and tyres.
I'm not thinking he was hanging around anyway. I think he was pretty much on it anyway, but it was just to confirm that, yes, we do want you to push, Andre, and you've got our blessing to give everything you've got.
37.225.
Yeah, the number 3 crew there, Bonomi and Oliver Jarvis. So yeah, they've stuck around. They look like they're in a better mood than they were, you know, whatever it was 18 hours ago when the accident happened with them in the wet weather that put them out of the race, and we saw Bonomi was quite emotional about it.
Oliver Jarvis stood in the pits ready to go as well, and then nothing happening.
Yeah, I think they were due to pit maybe even that lap that he had the accident, and it was heavy rain. They were on slick tyres, and they got smashed from behind. Again, we saw so many different pieces of footage from that, but we don't really know who was to blame, and obviously the weather was a big factor for everyone. So Lotte are down to 36 seconds gap now to Timo Bernhard. They'll be coming into the next set of pit stops pretty soon.
Big difference in the first.
Yeah, massive. He's taken 5 seconds out of him on the first sector.
Not sure whether the Porsche encountered some traffic. We'll soon discover, because if the Audi number 2 encounters that traffic.
Again, it depends if how lucky he was and where he encountered that traffic. If there was a couple of cars fighting and he just couldn't get by for a couple of corners, that's 5 seconds gone easily.
Well, there goes the 20 car past us. It's starting another lap. It registers its sector 3 time now.
So yeah, that was a bad lap. He 3:35. That's his slowest lap for quite a while, and it was all lost in the first sector.
Big bravery for Lotte around the outside of the Corvette there.
I mean, this track is so well rubbered up now. We've had no rain for quite a while, so the track itself is in good condition. So you can tend to push hard. You can see the black lines all the way around the circuit, really, where the rubber's been dropped.
Final part of the final chicane.
Yeah, through the chicane, nice smooth driving, a little bit of curb, right out to the artificial grass on the outside. Completes another lap, this time down into the 3:27s.
That's like
so
8 seconds nearly.
Yes, he's taken a lot out of Timo Bernhard.
33.677.
And then De Grassi as well has done a 3:27, and behind him, Ant Davidson's done a 3:27. So the 3 cars coming up behind the leader are all on the very same pace.
Okay, 7.92 seconds in that last lap that number 2 Audi took from the number 20 Porsche.
I do hope that they've got no issues with that car. I'd like to see a proper fight when they're both properly on it. Well, we're waiting. Yep, he's certainly...
He's
got the call. It's going to be a pit stop. He's going to quickly pop off to the toilet because he's going to get in the car till the end.
But hang on, he's only if with that kind of urgency, is that this lap?
Well, yeah.